Hi my friends and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all staying safe wherever you are in the world. So today I'm super excited to be sharing this video with you guys. I'm so excited for this testimony. So usually I alternate Testimony Tuesday with a Faith Friday, but today or this week or recently you've had two Testimony Tuesdays in a row just because of how good they've been. So on Friday do expect a Faith Friday video, but yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy what Isaac's about to share. So Isaac is at Stirling University and he does triathlon, and I'm super excited about what he's going to share with you guys. It really spoke to me, so I hope it speaks to you. Before we get started, I'm going to pray because I did that in Michael's video and I just think that I need to be praying in my videos more. So I'm going to pray and then I'm going to hand over to Isaac. Lord, I just want to thank you for the incredible work that you've done in Isaac's life, and I just pray that what he's about to share really speaks into the lives of all the viewers watching this, wherever they are. And I just pray that you can bring peace upon them and yeah, just help them to really grow towards you. Pray all this in your name. Amen.
Hi guys, yeah, my name is Isaac. I'm a student at Stirling University. That's how I know Sophie. I'm originally from York in the north of England, where I kind of grew up for most of my life. I have an older sister, a younger sister, and a younger brother. And yeah, really grew up in a loving Christian home. I consider myself very privileged to have grown up in a Christian home where I was taught about Jesus from the day one. I've been to church since I can remember, and yeah, kind of all that went along with that. My dad was part of leading the church. I went along to the holiday clubs that the church put on. I went along to the camps that the church put on when I was a little bit older. So yeah, it really was just a childhood kind of surrounded and immersed in that world. Obviously, going to school as well, where I mean, goes without saying that not everyone is Christian there. So kind of yeah, seeing that both sides of life, but yeah, really happy childhood in a really happy home, which yeah, I'm very fortunate and very blessed to have experienced. I think a lot of people probably think that people that grew up in a Christian home like me are maybe just Christian because their parents are Christian, because they've kind of been brainwashed, you might even think. But for me, it was when I was 10 that I can really kind of remember making that commitment for myself, and it kind of becoming something that I wanted to be part of my life, not something that I just wanted my parents to kind of teach me and kind of live through them, if that makes sense. So yeah, I was at a camp, a Christian camp, kind of a week-long summer camp with lots of activities and kind of Bible teaching and kind of little mini church services, if you like, where we'd sing songs and that sort of thing. And yeah, it was on that camp that I kind of really, like I say, took hold of myself. And I'd say that's the point that I became a Christian. I believed in God for my entire life. I believed what the Bible says. I'd even prayed to God lots of times before then. But yeah, I think that's the time that it really kind of became my own. So that was when I was 10, so quite young, I think. I'm 21 now, or 22 now, actually. I turned 22 last week. Let's get my age right. So yeah, 12 years have passed nearly since then. And yeah, I think the journey of growing up as a Christian through school, as starting university has been a kind of an interesting experience, a great experience in many ways, and I've learned so much, and God has taught me so much in the past 12 years. And yeah, we'd have to be here for a very long time to go through it all. So I'll save you all of that and maybe just go through maybe the last 5 years of my life. So yeah, I'm 22 now. I'm in second year at Stirling. But we rewind to kind of the last few years of school. I was kind of doing quite well at school. I was very fortunate to go to a very good school where lots of people in my year, lots of people every year in that school went to kind of the top universities in England. And yeah, I was kind of maybe part of that culture a little bit. I was kind of again in the fortunate position that through a lot of school, I kind of breeze through without trying too hard. I was fortunate enough to find studying quite easy, and so yeah, I kind of developed this kind of almost arrogant, kind of prideful attitude that I would go to whichever university I wanted, doing whichever course I wanted, without even trying. And that eventually came back to bite me, as you might expect. Yeah, you can get through kind of the first few years of school without doing work, but if you're anything like me, you can't really get through that last 1 or 2 years without doing any work. So when it came to results day after my A levels, I had St Andrews as my kind of firm choice of university. I had Leeds as my insurance, and I opened UCAS, kind of the website that you get your results on, or your university places on the morning of results day, about 6 o'clock in the morning, fully expecting either one of the two to have come through, and it just said, you have not got into any of your choices, you are available to kind of apply through clearing. And so that was a big shock to the system. That was quite unexpected. And I think looking back now, I can really see God's hand at work. Yeah, many years down the line, I'm so happy that I'm not at either of those universities, that I'm at Stirling. And I think that really was me putting kind of faith in myself, putting trust in myself to kind of achieve what I wanted to achieve, to have success in academics, to go and get a great degree, all in my own strength, and not relying on God at all for help and for guidance. So yeah, I think that really was kind of him just taking that option away. So I didn't go straight to university then. I had 2 years out of university where I basically spent the entire 2 years racing triathlon. If you don't know me, then I love triathlon. Well, I love all sport actually, but triathlon is kind of the sport that I do. I've done it since I was 11 or 12, and yeah, gradually kind of progressed in the sport from it being a little bit of fun that I did with my friends to being something a little bit more serious. And I thought for those 2 years, I would kind of take it quite seriously. I would kind of live and train as close to kind of a full-time athlete as possible. I would work part-time to kind of fund that, to fund going to races. And yeah, I had a great 2 years. I had the chance to pretty much travel the world with racing and training. I went to Spain on so many training camps that I probably can't even remember them all. I think 4 or 5 times to Spain, going on training camps and racing over there. And I went to Estonia. I went to where else did I go? I went to Australia as well. How can I forget that? Yeah, Australia. Kind of my first year of racing in those 2 years, and then at the end of the 2 years, I raced the Half Ironman World Championships in Nice in France, which was a great experience to race. Kind of coming. It was the age group race, not the professional race. I'm not that good. But yeah, in the age group racing, you kind of set off, the pros set off, and then your age group race sets off a few minutes after that. So I remember kind of coming out on the bike course, and the bike course was like an out and back, and I was kind of just heading out, and the pros were just coming back, and seeing Alistair Brownlee, seeing Gustav Eden, the guy who won it, seeing Christian Blumenfeld, all these guys just come back, and me being in the same race as them was like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. But anyway, that aside, I think in those 2 years, you're spotting a bit of cycle here. In those 2 years, I kind of started doing the same thing, trusting in myself, believing in myself and my own ability. And I think God, in this situation, instead of taking it away, he actually kind of just let me have it for a bit. He let me have the experiences, the success, and yeah, it was a great time. But during those 2 years, I think I slowly realized there was no lightning moment, but I slowly realized that triathlon couldn't fulfill me. It couldn't satisfy me completely. It was something to enjoy, but ultimately, I believe it's a gift from God to be enjoyed and to be experienced. But it is just that. It's not in and of itself. It's not something that I can put my life in, because ultimately, I think all humans want something more than just these experiences, than just academic success or just sporting success. I think you might be able to relate that actually you might think that there must be more to this life. There must be something else that will satisfy me. So then, kind of skipping over a few things, I ended up in Stirling, and I think the third area of my life, which I kind of maybe looked for hope and looked for kind of fulfillment and satisfaction in was relationships. I tried success in academics. I tried sport, and I thought that if I had a lovely, I wanted a relationship with a lovely Christian girl, and I thought that would satisfy me. This is again around the same time as I was racing triathlon, and looking back now, I realized I was doing the same thing. I was looking for my hope and my affirmation and my kind of my whole happiness was going to be dependent on that. And I thought that if I could just get this, I would be happy. I wonder if there's something in your life that you think, if I could just have this, then I'll be happy. It could be anything. It could be any of the things I've mentioned. It could be just getting money. I don't know what it is for you, but I really do think that everyone has something that they're kind of thinking, if I could just get this, then I'll be happy. Well, for me, in those 2 years anyway, God kind of, again, withheld that from me. And looking back now, I'm so glad he did, because I think it helped me realize that God has to be the center of my life. God has to be, I put my hope and my trust in, because I really do believe that he is the only source of true trust and of true hope. I do believe that God is the only thing worth investing emotional time in, emotional energy in, investing your money in, investing everything in. I really do think that giving my life to God, to serving him, to being his child, is something that brings more joy than anything that the world can offer. And so I hope that you can maybe relate to some of the things I've said about kind of looking for hope and looking for meaning in different areas of life. And I hope you can see that, well, certainly from my experience, and I'm sure from Sophie's experience, I'm sure from every other experience of kind of testimonies you've heard on this channel, they'll agree that there is no greater joy, there is no greater satisfaction and hope and light in your life than knowing and experiencing the love of God, which he shows us in sending Jesus, his son, to die on a cross, and on that cross taking the weight of the punishment that we deserve, so that we can get the reward and the perfection and the place in heaven, and the hope and the joy until then that Jesus earned for us. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you've taken something from that, and I hope that you too, whether you do already or not yet, do experience the love of God yourself.